Once there was a farmer who was pulling up a hedge. The hedge was on the edge of a field on a hill in Grouville called Le Catillon. And the farmer's tractor was struggling and straining till suddenly it gave way. And under the grass and the soil and the roots, the farmer found treasure. Silver coins, not just 10s and 5p's either, but a whole clay jar full of Celtic coins buried by people in the Iron Age 2,000 years ago. More of these coins would turn up every year when the farmer would plough the field so potatoes could be planted. And each year, the farmer's daughter would travel behind the plough, picking up these ancient coins, which she'd then take to school to swap for comic books. Years later, this strange story caught the attention of two metal detectorists called Reg Mead and Richard Miles. Richard and Reg thought that there might be more Iron Age coins waiting under the soil, so, after asking permission from the farmer who owned the land, they went searching Le Catillon with their metal detectors. However, there was a small problem. Richard and Reg could only search the field after it had been ploughed, but before the potatoes were planted in it, which gave them only a very small window in which to be able to search, around 10 to 15 hours a year. Now, what's the longest you've spent searching for something? An hour? A day? A week? Well, Richard and Reg spent 30 years searching Le Catillon. 30 years waiting for a beep or a whistle from their metal detectors. 30 years searching every square metre of that field.
Perhaps you would have given up.
Perhaps you would have stuck with it.
But 30 years after they had started, Richard and Reg finally found something extraordinary.
And to tell us exactly what they found, we're going to ask an expert. This is Neil. He's a conservator for Jersey heritage.
So, Neil, what did the metal detectorists find up on Le Catillon?
Well, first of all, they found about 100 coins, which were quite shallow in the soil, and they'd been ploughed up and down. But they went back with a machine that could go much deeper, and straight away they found a really strong signal. And they found then a mass of about 70,000 coins.
70,000?
With gold jewellery, silver jewellery, with ingots, these gold torques. We found about 10 of these inside there, as well as gold bangles, bracelets, beads, rings. It's about 5 or 6 times bigger than any other hoard that's been found like this one. All buried about 2,050 years ago by the French Celts.
Incredible. And who would have buried them there?
Well, most of the coins belong to one tribe from the French mainland here called the Celtic. And what we think is that this tribe probably made these tens of thousands of coins to pay people for fighting the Romans.
Oh. And why did they bury it on that hill?
The place is called Le Catillon, which means the small fort or castle. But the whole time that we know of, there's never been one there. So the name may be a memory, a ghost of when this was a fort. So it's possible that that's why it was there, that this was a very safe place for them.
Why were there so many coins up there? I mean, were they rich?
That we think it was probably the tribe's wealth, that this was all of their wealth, and it meant something huge to them.
And what shapes are on the coins? We've got a head and what's the other thing?
Yeah, on one side there's a head. It's generally a man's profile on the side with a nose and lots of big hair. Could have been one of their gods. It could perhaps have been the chief of their tribe. And on the reverse there's a horse. Different tribes used to have quite different artwork for their horses. But the Celtic artwork is much more flowy and abstract.
And so why did they bury the coins, Neil?
The idea we thought until quite recently was that these were made at the time they were fighting the Romans. Perhaps they'd lost the battle and that they came over here to hide the money. Other thing we know about the Celts is that they used to make huge offerings to their gods as a part of their religion. So they'd actually come and they'd deliberately bury treasure as a gift for the gods with no plan to come back. The Celts wrote so little about themselves that we have to guess why they did things. We have to guess about their religion or about how they used money. And the second thing is that of the whole huge field, we've only actually dug 2 meters by 2 meters. Literally next to that, there could be another hoard, there could be a part of a fortress wall, there could be a building. There could be all the things that would actually give us clues, that could tell us what was going on. It's still a guess what this is doing here.
Wow. There's still a lot we need to learn.
Huge lot we need to learn. Yeah, we're just really beginning to find out what's going on with this hoard.
Every year, tractors turn the soil in the fields and reveal all sorts of things buried in the past. Broken and brittle pieces of clay pipe that farmers used to smoke on their breaks from work. Muddy coins dropped from pockets with old kings and queens on them. Smashed teacups and plates dumped by careless people 100 years ago, and plastic and crisp packets dumped by careless people the year before last. There are lots of things we can learn about people in the past just by looking at the things they lost and the litter they tossed away. So, what trash and treasure will you leave behind for people 2,000 years from now?